Good morning, everyone. Let us continue with the topic of magnetic circuits. Previous class we have discussed about the two basic concepts related to magnetic circuits, that is self-inductance and then mutual inductance. So we have seen how do we define the self-inductance and how do we define the mutual inductance and what are the units for self-inductance and mutual inductance. Since self-inductance and mutual inductance both are inductance which are induced in the coil, hence the unit for self-inductance and mutual inductance are represented with Henry, and the symbol which we use to represent is capital H. So let us continue with the magnetic circuit topic. So today we will now discuss about the coefficient of coupling, which is also known as a coupling coefficient. The coefficient of coupling or coupling coefficient is represented with the symbol that is capital K. Okay, so it is a measure of magnetic coupling between two coils. So what is coefficient of coupling? So coefficient of coupling is nothing but it is the measure of the magnetic coupling between two coils. What does it gives us? So, in order to understand what is coefficient of coupling tells us about the magnetic circuits, let us first understand what is the range of the coefficient of coupling. The range of coefficient of coupling varies from 0 to 1. That is 0 less than equal to K less than equal to 1. Now, for different conditions of K, the K value tells us the different meanings for magnetic circuits. Let us first understand when K value is equal to 0. When K value is equal to 0, that means that the two coils are not coupled. That means there is no link between both the coils when the coefficient of coupling is equal to 0. Now, when K value is equal to 1, if the maximum value is the maximum value, if K value is equal to 1, that means the two coils are perfectly coupled. If the coefficient of coupling value K is equal to 1, that means that they are perfectly coupled. If K value is less than 0.5 means the two coils are loosely coupled. Okay. If the value of K is less than 0.5, then they are loosely coupled. If the K value is greater than 0.5, that means that the two coils are tightly coupled. So, this is how the coefficient of coupling will tell us that how closely the coils are being associated with each other. So, it varies between 0 to 1. So, K. Now, how does this K value depend? So, K value depends on the closeness of the two coils. From the above conditions, if you check, now we can conclude that the K depends on the closeness of two coils. That is, it depends on the closeness of two coils, right? So that is why we could able to see that K value 0 means it is not coupled, 1 means perfectly coupled, less than 0.5 means loosely coupled, and greater than 0.5 means tightly coupled. So K value depends on the closeness of two coils, the core, their orientation and their winding, right? So this is what the coefficient of coupling tells us, right? Now, the coefficient of coupling K is related with mutual and self-inductance as. So, the coefficient of coupling K value is given by M divided by square root of L1 into L2, where M represents the mutual inductance and L1 and L2 are the self-inductances of two coils 1 and 2. Or from this we can also represent that the mutual inductance is equal to K times the square root of the product of the self-inductance L1 and L2. The derivation with respect to the coefficient of coupling, this derivation we will be discussing once we go for the energy stored in the magnetic circuits. That time we will derive the expression for the coefficient of coupling, right? So this is about the relationship of coefficient of coupling with the mutual inductance and the self-inductances of the coil, right? Now, coming to the most important topic with respect to magnetic circuits, that is dot convention. Now, as we already discussed that every magnetic circuits are related with the self-inductances and mutual inductances. So when we talk about the self-inductance and mutual inductance, we have already discussed how the mutual inductance will be inducing some voltage across the coil, right? So dot convention comes to our rescue to understand the magnetic circuits in a better way, and it helps us in analyzing the circuits. So dot convention is required to determine the polarity of the mutually induced voltage. This is very, very important. As we have already discussed in the previous class that because of the current which is flowing in the first coil, some flux will be linked with the second coil which is inducing some voltage in the second coil. So once it is inducing some voltage in the second coil, how do we consider the polarity of that induced voltage in the second coil? That time the dot convention comes to our help. Okay, so what is dot convention? So a dot is placed in the circuit at one end of each of the two magnetically coupled coils to indicate the direction of the magnetic flux if current enters the dotted terminal of the coil. So what is dot convention here? Dot convention is nothing but we are going to place one dot in the circuit between the two magnetically coupled coils to indicate the direction of the magnetic flux. So how the dot is being placed? Okay, how the dot is being placed and what is the polarity of the induced voltage or the current that we need to consider. Based on the dot concept, we are going to discuss one by one with respect to magnetically coupled circuits. Okay, now let us take an example here. So let us consider the example. There are two coils here. This is the first coil, okay, and this is the second coil which are magnetically coupled. Now here if you see, all the notation should be very clearly understood here in order to understand the magnetically coupled circuit. So the first inductor I am considering it as coil 1, second inductance we consider it as coil 2. Now let us consider the current flowing through this first coil is represented with I1. This will induce some flux in the first coil which is represented as phi 1 1. Now because of this first coil, some flux will be induced on the second coil that we are going to represent as phi 2 1. Okay, now this flux will induce some voltage which we represent it as a V1. Same is the condition with the second coil. In the second coil, let us consider that the flux which is the current which is flowing through the second coil is being represented with I2. Now the flux which is being linked with the second coil is represented with phi 2 2. Right? Now because of the second coil, some flux has been introduced in the first coil which is being represented as phi 1 2. Okay, so these are the terms which are related with your magnetically coupled circuit. Now let us understand the dot convention here. So how do we define a dot convention? Now dot convention is nothing but if a current enters the dotted terminal of one coil. Please remember that if the current is entering the dotted terminal of one coil, the reference polarity of the mutual voltage in the second coil is considered as positive at the dotted terminal of the second coil. Please understand the term here. If the current is entering the dotted terminal of the first coil, then we know that this first coil is inducing some inductance, mutual inductance on the second coil, which in turn is inducing some voltage in the second coil. Then the polarity in the second coil has to be considered as positive at the dotted terminal in the second coil. Conversely, dot convention may also be stated as follows. There is another way of defining the dot convention, that is, if a current leaves the dotted terminal of one coil, then the reference polarity of the mutual voltage in the second coil is considered as negative. Okay, so it all depends on the direction of the current, whether it is entering the first node or whether it is entering the second node. Based on that, we are going to consider the polarity of the mutual voltage induced as positive or negative. Now there are different cases are existing. In order to understand the dot convention in a better way, let us talk about this. So before we proceed with the cases, let us understand the dot rule here. So what is dot rule? When the assumed currents both entered or both leaves the pair of coils by the dotted terminal, then the mutual currents should be considered as the same with respect to your self-inductance. Okay. The second rule is, if one current enters by a dotted terminal while the other leaves the dotted terminal, then the sign of the mutual term will be opposing the sign of the L terms. Now you have to understand here, in order to understand the dot convention, you should know that a magnetically coupled circuit consists of self-inductances as well as mutual inductances. When the currents in both are entering, then the direction of the mutual inductance should be taken as same with respect to the self-inductance. If one current is entering the dotted terminal and other current is leaving the dotted terminal, then the sign of the mutual inductance has to be taken as opposite to the sign of the self-inductance terms. So once we decide the polarity of the mutual inductance with respect to self-inductance, then the analysis of the circuit will become very simple. Then we can use a mesh analysis in order to analyze the magnetically coupled circuits. So better to understand the dot convention rule, let us consider the different cases. Now let us talk about the case 1. So let me take an example of the circuit here. So I am taking two inductor coils here, L1 and L2, with the turns as N1 and N2. Now these two inductor coils L1 and L2 are placed in close proximity with each other. So as we know that because of the current which is flowing in the first inductance, that is I1 of T, then this will induce some mutual inductance on the second coil. Let us consider that it is represented with M. Already we know that the self-inductors are represented with L1 and L2 and mutual inductance is represented with M. So now we know that as the current starts flowing through the first coil, it will induce some flux in the first coil. Because of that, some voltage is being induced in the first coil which is represented as V1. Now because of this flux which is linked to the second coil, some voltage is being induced in the second coil which is represented as V2. Now we are talking about the dot convention. Now in the case 1, the first case here is the dots in the inductor coil L1 and L2 are placed at the top corner here. If you see the red dot, it is being placed on L1 top and L2 top. Now according to this convention, if you see, the current for both the inductors will be entering the dot. Hence, the direction of the mutual inductance will be taken as positive. I hope it is clear to everyone. If the currents in both the inductor coils L1 and L2 are entering the coils L1 and L2, then the sign of the mutual inductance should be same as the sign of your self-inductances. Hence, the voltage which is induced in the second coil is given by M into dI1 by dt, and we need to take a positive polarity because the current in both the coils is being entering as we place the dots. Okay, so this is the case 1. Now let us talk about the case 2. Now case 2, again same circuit we are considering, but only difference if you could see is the placement of the dot here. So in the second case, in first coil, the dot is placed on the top of L1, whereas the dot for L2 is placed at the bottom. That means, if you see according to the direction of the current, now for L1, the current will be entering the dot, whereas for L2, the current will be leaving the dot. That is the reason why the direction of the mutual inductance, that is the sign of the mutual inductance, should be considered as negative. The polarity of the mutual inductance to be considered as negative because the current in one inductance is entering the dot, whereas in the second coil the current is leaving the dot. Hence the polarity of the mutual inductance has to be considered as negative. Now coming to case 3. Same setup we are considering, but now what we are doing here is we are placing now two dots here. Again this is on the top and this is on the bottom, but now the current is being shown from the second coil. Now if you see again here, the current will be leaving the second coil whereas entering the first coil. Hence, the mutual inductance for the first coil has to be considered as negative. If you see here, minus M into di2 by dt. Okay, if one current is entering the self-inductance and if other one is leaving the self-inductance, then we need to take negative polarity. Now coming to case 4. Now in the case 4, if you see here, the same arrangement we are taking, but the position of the dot we are placing is, for both the coils, the dots are placed at the bottom. That means the current which is coming from the second coil will be leaving the second coil as well as it will be leaving for the first coil. Hence, the polarity of the mutual inductance should be taken as a positive because the current in both the coils are leaving, so therefore the polarity has to be considered as positive. So what do we conclude from the dot convention is, if you place the dot such that in both the coils, if the currents are entering or if both the coils are leaving, then we consider the mutual inductance polarity as positive. Otherwise, the direction of the mutual inductance polarity has to be considered as negative. This is the concept of the dot convention, and once we decide the direction of the dot convention with respect to mutual inductance, then the analysis of the circuit becomes very simple and we can simply apply the mesh analysis concept to analyze the magnetically coupled circuits. Right? Now, coming to the next topic with respect to magnetically coupled circuits here. Now, we have seen that in network topology also, that in basic concepts also, that the circuits elements can be connected in two combination, either in a series connection or in a parallel connection. Now let us talk about a series aiding connection. That means now your magnetically coupled circuits are also connected in series and parallel combination. Now let us first talk about the series aiding condition. Here aiding is a plural word which is being used because we are considering more than one inductance. So series aiding connection. Now in order to understand the series aiding connection of a magnetically coupled circuit, let us consider this circuit here. So let us consider that two inductors L1 and L2 are connected in series, which are magnetically coupled and have a mutual inductance of M. Now these are the magnetic flux which are flowing through the circuit. Okay. Now some voltage has been applied and the current flowing through this, we represent it as I. So in a simplified way of representing this magnetically coupled circuit, you can see here, now two inductors L1 and L2 are connected in series and the current flowing through that is I, and in between L1 and L2 the mutual inductance is being occurring, that is represented as M. Now if you see the series aiding connection here, the dots are being placed at the starting of L1 and at the starting of L2. That means the current which is flowing through L1 and L2 will always enter your inductors. That is why according to our dot convention, the polarity of the mutual inductance has to be taken as positive. Okay. So aiding inductors in series as well as the dot conventions are presented in figure. Since their magnetic fields aid each other, the KVL for this situation can be written as. So according to KVL equation, we know that the total applied voltage will be equal to the voltage across your first inductor V1, the voltage across your second inductor V2, then the mutual inductance of L1 with L1 on L2 and the mutual inductance of L2 on L1. So it is V1 plus Vm plus V2 plus Vm. So according to the definition of self-inductance and mutual inductance, if I substitute according to that, then V1 can be written as L1 into di1 by dt plus mutual inductance we write it as M into di by dt plus L2 into di by dt plus M into di by dt. Now why I am taking M two times is because both the inductors are mutually magnetically coupled. That means your inductor 1 will have some mutual inductance on coil L2, whereas L2 will have some mutual inductance on L2. Now, if I take di by dt as common here, then I am going to get the expression as L1 plus L2 plus 2m, which is di by dt. Then the equivalent inductance is given by L equivalent can be written as L1 plus L2 plus 2m, provided if both the inductors, magnetically coupled inductors, are connected in series aiding combination. If it is series aiding combination, then we get L1 plus L2 plus 2m because we are considering mutual inductance and the dots are placed in such a way that in both the coils the currents are entering your inductances. Okay, now coming to the second combination, that is series opposing combination. Now in series opposing combination, what do? Same setup we are considering two inductors as L1 and L2, but if you see here, the dots are being placed in a different way. So for first inductor, the dot is placed at the starting end, whereas for the second inductor, the dot is placed at the end. That means for first coil, the current is entering, whereas for the second coil, the current is leaving. Now the mutually induced inductance is given by M. So this combination we call it as series opposing combination. So for series opposing combination, again we will apply the KVL to the circuit. If we apply KVL here, the polarities of the mutual inductance should be taken as negative because according to dot convention, the dots are placed such that for one coil it is entering, whereas for the second coil it is leaving. So for mutual inductance, the polarities are written as a negative here. So if I take di by dt as common, then I am going to get L1 plus L2 minus 2m is into di by dt. Then the equivalent inductance is given by L equivalent is equal to, it is L1 plus L2 minus 2m, provided your inductors are connected in series opposing fashion. So this is how the combination of inductors when they are connected in series combination and series opposing combination. So similar is the condition when we go for parallel combination. Now mutually coupled inductors in parallel. Now we have seen two inductors when they are connected in series combination, how they behave. In a similar way, let us consider that if two inductors, magnetically coupled inductors, are connected in parallel, how do they behave? So let us consider two arrangements here. Okay, so let us consider the first coil is L1, the second coil is L2. Okay, now the current flowing through first inductor is L1, the current flowing through second inductor is I2, the total current is I. Now the dots are being placed in the first case on both on the top corner, and the mutual inductance which is induced between L1 and L2 is given by M. Whereas in the second case, if you see here, the same circuit we are considering, but the convention of the dot, if you see, the first coil, the dot is being placed on the top, whereas for the second coil, the dot is being placed at the bottom, right? So the first connection we call it as series parallel aiding connection, whereas the second connection we call it as parallel opposing, because in the first case for both inductors the current is entering the coil, whereas in the second case the current is entering the first coil and the current is leaving the second coil. This is series aiding and series parallel combination. Now again we go with the same analysis what we have done. We go for KVL equations for the first loop and the second loop because both are connected in parallel combination. For series aiding combination, we take the polarity of your mutual inductance as plus because for both inductors L1 and L2, the currents are entering your coils. Therefore, we take it as plus M. Then using the determinant form, we are going to derive the expression here. Then as we know that according to your KCL, the total current I can be written as I1 plus I2. So if you substitute all of them, when two inductors are connected in parallel aiding fashion, then L equivalent is given by L1 into L2 minus M square divided by L1 plus L2 minus 2M, provided if they are connected in parallel aiding fashion. In a similar manner, if we do this, then for parallel opposing combination, L equivalent is given by L1 into L2 minus M square divided by L1 plus L2 plus 2M. So for parallel aiding, the denominator term will be minus, and for parallel opposing, the denominator term is plus. So this is the equivalent value when two inductors are connected in parallel aiding and parallel opposing fashion. So please remember that dot convention will really help us to analyze the circuit in a better way, so that based on the dot convention we know the polarity of the mutual inductance. Then we have to solve the network simply by using mesh analysis. So this is about the magnetic circuits when they are connected in series aiding, series opposing, parallel aiding, parallel opposing, based on the dot convention. So next class we will be discussing about how to analyze the magnetically coupled circuits based on dot convention.